Friday. Asking a question every day is really time-consuming, and our videos get really long, and none of us have the time for that. So we decided to do just one question a week, and we were trying to figure out how that would work. So I am going to ask a question today, later on, and that will be our question for next week. And then next week, Chelsea will ask a question, and the week after that, Keely will, and then Sammy, and then Lauren, and it's going to be a cycle. So it makes a little bit more sense, and none of us have to anticipate anybody's question, so that makes life easier. I'm going to use this video, to basically go back and put all of those videos, and put all of the stuff that got cut, all of the Harry Potter talk, and shove it into this video. Chapter 1. The Put-Outer. And then later, it's the Deluminator. "You flatter me," said Dumbledore calmly. "Voldemort has powers I will never have, only because you're too, well, noble to use them." No, he's used them before, McGonagall, but it didn't work out too well for him. I love this line. Mr. Dursley sat frozen in his armchair. Shooting stars all over Britain, owls flying by daylight, mysterious people in cloaks all over the place, and a whisper about the Potters. Especially when you put it in conjunction with the very last paragraph of the chapter. I'm not going to read it because it's kind of long, but it's just so, like that one line, it's so filled with, disquiet, and, and then 17, it's almost a release of that tension, but there's still more tension because you're like, what happens to Harry? And I love, he couldn't know that at this very moment, people meeting in secret all over the country were holding up their glasses and saying in hushed voices, "To Harry Potter, the boy who lived." I love that. I absolutely love that. I think that was amazing. In chapter 2, at the very beginning of chapter 2, Harry's in his cupboard, and, a spider falls on him, and he's like, whatever, and, if it were Ron Weasley, Ron would be like, which cracks me up. I kind of want to jump back to my whole Wizarding Banks, because, I asked, but I didn't really give my thoughts on it. I don't know, I guess when I asked about, is there more than one Wizarding Bank, I didn't mean, is there more than one building. I kind of, for me, I kind of see Gringotts, like Chelsea said, that, Gringotts is the only one, but, she said, you've got to be old enough to operate over there. But you would imagine, international travel has got to be hard. I mean, it's hard for us, and we're muggles, and, I mean, whatever. Can you imagine the energy drain on a wizard to, operate across an ocean? Ugh, yuck. So, I kind of thought it more is Gringotts, the only one? And I think that's why, there's a lot of Gringotts banks, little banks, Wells Fargo or Bank of America. And, there's only one Wells Fargo, and there's only one Bank of America. But there's a lot of little ones, branches, So, I think there's, branches, but it's an international bank. Does that make sense? While Ron and Harry are in Hagrid's hut, they discuss Snape. And Hagrid's like, "Snape doesn't have reason to hate you. I'm not looking you straight in the eye. I'm not looking you straight in the eye." If I were Harry and I found out the reasoning, behind at that, can you imagine, totally kicking yourself? Poor Harry. He has no clue that, Snape, at this point, he doesn't even know that Snape even knew his father, which is, double trouble. That sucks. And, then there's the whole thing with his mom, and, Snape's just one really screwy guy. He's just got connections to all of the Potters. Poor guy. Whatever.
Harry getting his Nimbus 2000. Freaking amazing. I'm kind of wondering about how fair that is, though. Because, if you think about it, first off, he's breaking a huge rule because, I mean, obviously first years aren't supposed to have brooms. And then, not only does he just get a broom, he gets the top-of-the-line broom. I mean, who paid for this, first off? I mean, you would, I guess, I want to know who paid for it, because, if you think about it, what are the Weasley twins doing for brooms? Are they using school brooms, or do they have their own brooms? And if they have their own brooms, did they have to pay for it? Because if the school pays for Harry, then shouldn't the others get it? I don't know. And like, especially for such a, if he's going to get the most expensive broom out there, and the school's paying for it, not okay. So, I don't know. I just kind of, like, that kind of struck me as odd. I was like, wait a second. How is he getting this? This isn't right. Because if the Weasley twins are flying around on clean sweeps, shouldn't Harry be just flying around on a clean sweep too? I mean, he doesn't need the top of the line broom, but whatever. He's Harry Potter, right? That's what Snape would say. Oh, and like, when they were searching for Nicholas Flamel in the library and they couldn't find it, I was thinking, okay, so obviously, Wizarding England is obviously kind of behind the times as far as technology and stuff. Like, like just basic communication stuff. I mean, they have their owls, but I mean, if you think about it, owls aren't exactly a very good way of transporting letters. They're kind of messy. I mean, I guess it's quick for them, and it's easy because they don't have, like, cars and stuff, but I don't know. And, like, if you think about, like, wizards from other countries, I have to wonder if they're as behind the times as England. I always kind of, like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, I highly doubt. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, There's got to be wizards somewhere that are, like, playing with technology.
Question. What is your favorite spell from the Harry Potter series? That's a fun one. What is my favorite spell? Okay, this is gonna sound really bad, but I love Sectum Sempra. Because if I remember correctly, like, when Harry hit Draco with it, in the 6th book, and Draco was all like, I'm bleeding profusely, and Snape, like, busted in, and he was all, the hell did you do? And Harry was like, I found it in a book, I don't know, shit, I didn't know it did that. And Severus Snape, performed, like, some spell or another, and I think, if I remember correctly, like, I think it was described as, like, there was, like, musical tones to it, or something like that, and it kind of healed Draco.